Starting lineup: Garen, Warwick, Zed, Ashe, Lux up against JC, Wukong, Velgar, Caitlyn, Seraphine. Rating of the picks for a casual game: Garen as a top 8, Warwick in the jungle 8. Today I'm going to aim to point out a couple of mobility limitations that Warwick shows, and that makes it so that you never see Warwick in pro play, which by itself in casual is not a bad thing. It's just a limitation. Zed as a mid, so far 8. Ashe as a shooter 6. Lux as a support 6. JC as a top 6. Velgar as a mid 7. Caitlyn as a shooter 10. Seraphine as a support 8. Let's get to it. First play, Seraphine is going to wake up at around 1 minute in. Very few champions have that kind of firepower so early in the game. Seraphine really one of those champions where people just don't realize that she's not as innocent as she looks. We have here a couple of moments later. That's even with a miss. Look at that burst. Look at that insane burst. She missed. The first one was a miss. Yeah, second play. One thing about making fancy, unconventional picks with JC is you put more weight on my shoulders. Me as the jungler, I'm going around in circle. Oh, he even shamelessly, I did not notice, he's shamelessly, the top is shamelessly targeting Warwick here, as though I was supposed to interfere there, as though, how could I have possibly been there at that point in time, unless I'm taking your lane over, unless I'm stealing the top lane. But see, like somebody like Shogath would never have had that problem because I can be certain that Shogath will survive. He's not as frail. If you pick something as weird as JC, I have to babysit you the entire time. I have to go and assist you the entire time. Or something like this can happen at all times, as we see here just now. Third play here, and let's use this as a bit of a case study of the limitations of Warwick and his mobility here. Once you engage and lock down, you have to slowly walk after them, and your second spell activate itself relatively randomly. Randomness of it means that you can't rely on it to get you out of situations. Once you're locking down and going in, you have to go all the way. There's never any other way with Warwick. You can't ever get back out. That is something that the pros really don't like, and something he's got significantly less mobility there. Fourth play, again, a study of this. Once you commit, there's no going back. Warwick by itself, as strong as anybody. There's 3 people here, goes in. There's no way out. You have no way out. You can only get in. You can't get out. That is some of that trade-off. And for the 5th play of the game here, we are going to pepper whoever pops up with the stick. And sometimes with more favorable results. Jump right after that first spell. I think that's a double kill at 20 minutes and 45 seconds in. That's the 5th play. Taking a look at the scoreboard here, yeah, this is extremely unusual here, and this is not tanking stuff. It's not tanking gear, it's not top laner gear. JC is a flexibility and versatility demon who can do everything at the same time. He's got a little bit of m'as-tu vu. It's a little bit of a far-fetched pick. It's not wrong, but it's a bit of a far-fetched pick. These items by itself are not going to help you provide like any kind of top roll. I would argue you're going boots too early here. It's very good that your foundation is Infinity Edge. That is excellent. This is very interesting here. Massive ability haste here. Didn't get boots directly. Waited. Yeah, massive ability cooldown here. The new Lich Bane, more movement speed. Yeah, very fearsome build. The only thing I will say with this build as a support is you have to make your shots. Like I said, like, I would never accept this kind of thing as if it wasn't Seraphine. But for Seraphine, like, this is viable, this is realistic. The problem with investing your money in boots instead of getting a solid item is that you have an opponent who is not doing that wherever they may be. In this case, I believe it was Caitlyn because the lanes were switched. So Caitlyn directly goes into Infinity Edge, gains 70 attack damage, 25% critical strike, and 40% critical strike damage. And you are getting 25 armor. Oh, and 45 movement speed. Let's not forget about the 45 movement speed. That ended saving your life. So yeah, competitively, this is perhaps very challenging for younger players to understand, but once there is a competition, you have to match the rival. If you don't match your rival, you will always lose. If I put up 100, you have to put up 100. If you do 100 push-ups, then I have to do 100 push-ups. Otherwise, I will always lose. Okay? Effectively, in case you haven't noticed yet, the area between turrets in a lane is a mini arena. It is a mini coliseum, a micro octagon. And so you know, being shiny and fashion aware and stylish and getting new shoes, while the other is getting a serious weapon, it is that exact same 1200 that goes into that, you're always going to lose. Remember the story that I related about the Vietnamese top jungler who refused to I believe his name is Levi. He refuses to go boots before he has 3 solid items, and he's jungling in the pros, so he has to go across the whole map, and he still doesn't get boots because he knows how irresponsible and overpriced it is. These guys are all like little girls. They all want to go shopping for shoes. They all want to go shopping for shoes. Yeah, using the same recipe here as everybody else. Yeah, you always see this item on Zed nowadays. This is not a good Zed build. This is not a good Zed build. You don't need that much. This is an amateur. You don't need that much movement speed. I'm actually kind of surprised how much of a threat he was now that I see his build. Apparently, Zed has not remotely been nerfed. Because, yeah, this isn't... If you can do this with this kind of kit and this kind of items on Zed, he looked pretty tough there for a long while, so apparently he's pretty casual friendly then. Yomu is actually kind of a pure jungler item. That is for if you have to go all the way from the top to all the way to the bottom, out of combat, and you have to sneak all the way around. If you're going to be standing in front of a turret, you're not going to need this item. Cyclo Sword is a lot like Eclipse. It looks unbelievably sexy. It's so beautiful. But de facto, you can find items that are going to be much better to you and much better for you. Yeah, the same mistake again. You're building Ashe like people are supposed to be building Neeko or supposed to be building Yasuo. Right? Like, you're doing the same thing again. Ashe is not about a Kalashnikov. Ashe is a relatively boring, assisting shooter, primarily relies on her freezing and on her slowing. They have specifically made Ashe weaker outside of the slows and outside of the freezes so that it wasn't overpowered. Because if they made her a major shooter and they gave her the freezing and the slowing at the same time, then she would be the best at everything, and that wouldn't be balanced. Moving on.
Is that all they've got? Who questions my ability?
An enemy has been slain.
Adapt to all situations. Never settle for second.
Shut down.
Show me the path.
An ally has been slain.
My place is at the top. My journey's only beginning.
An enemy has been slain.
Every mistake is a lesson. You got it.
You have slain an enemy.
Bring me a real challenge. Just try to stop. ability.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
Never settle for second. I got this.
You have been slain.
Show me the path.
An ally has been slain.
Adapt to all situations.
An enemy has been slain.
Put me to the test. My place is at the top.
An enemy has been slain. Killing spree.
Neutral style.
Rampage. An ally has been slain. You have slain an
Every
enemy.
mistake is a lesson.
Shut down.
Just try to stop.
Killing spree.
My journey's only beginning.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
Bring me a real challenge.
Killing spree. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Never settle for second.
Unstoppable. Rampage.
Adapt to all situations.
An enemy has been slain. Shut down. Turret plating will soon fall.
My place is at the top. Every mistake is a lesson. Is that all they've got?
Killing spree.
Show me the path.
An enemy has been slain.
My journey's only beginning.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Enemy has been slain.
You got it.
Unstoppable.
Who questions my ability?
Has been slain.
Never settle for second. Adapt to all situations.
An ally has been slain. Shut down.
real challenge.
Killing spree. An enemy has been slain.